our surveillance state gets even worse. Here we go again. Still terrorizing Teslas. I don't know what the hell's wrong with these people, but here we freaking go again. And the world's tiniest giraffe. This thing is adorable. Wait till you see. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. We're a little late, but we're live on Rumble and YouTube. And thank you all for popping in. We appreciate you being here. We'd love to have you guys along for the ride. And we're here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. Please subscribe. And on Rumble, please follow. I know it's a little confusing because one calls it subscribe and one calls it follow. It's the same thing. Just hit the button. It's free and it helps the show. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. All righty. We're off to the races. Oh, man, a Chevets. Every time I hear something more about this damn flock camera system, the more I love the fact there are people out there destroying these cameras. Folks, we live in the United States of America. We have rights. We have already given up a bunch of those rights after the Patriot Act, after COVID. How many more of our rights and our freedoms are going to continue to get taken away before somebody finally says, enough? Block camera, safety cameras. I love how they call it safety cameras. Well, guess what? It's getting worse because now it's flock drones. Oh, yeah. Flock just got its wings. That same Soviet bloc company behind these cameras that are putting autonomous surveillance drones now in the sky. Autonomous. They're self-operating. They're AI-driven. You start to see the problem? It gets worse. Now the company's automated license reader systems have spread across the country, creating one of the nation's largest interconnected video surveillance networks. You think you have privacy? Sorry, you don't. It's officially dead. After partnering with the aviation company called Aerodrome, Flock has now launched Flock Alpha, autonomous police drone built to respond to emergencies before officers even get there. The drone sits inside this little waterproof docking station, charging docking station, waiting for a call. And when a 911 report comes in, the lid of this thing opens up. I'll show you video in a minute. It can launch automatically, fly up to 60 miles an hour, and officers don't even need to be standing nearby. And this thing isn't just flying overhead. It's got thermal imaging, high-def cameras, powerful optical zooms. According to Flock, it can even read a vehicle's license plate from 2,000 feet away. That's almost a half a mile. Oh, that's not terrifying, huh? Yeah. These drones are being specifically marked as drone as first responder for emergency calls. But come on, let's be honest. That ain't what it's being used for. There's already been a leaked San Francisco footage from flock drone cameras that are very clearly just roaming around in the sky looking for crimes. In other words, mass surveillance. The surveillance state that we all fear and loathe is here. This is the Flock website. Hang on a quick second while I call it up here. There you go. First eyes on scene for safer outcomes. Take a look at this video. Take a look at, again, no one is controlling these drones. This is autonomous. It shows you there, but they're watching the video. Look at this. There's the little container that holds them on the rooftops until they get dispatched. Flying across the city, deployed drone. Bleep, bleep. And off it goes. Optical zooms that are 2,000 feet away, it can read a license plate. You are not safe. You have no privacy. None. None at all. These things are flying over our cities. Unbelievable. Proven impact measured in seconds. 86 seconds to reach a call for service, arriving first on the scene anywhere in your jurisdiction. The site obviously aimed at trying to sell these things to the cities and towns. 1 in 5 calls resolved without dispatching patrol. 89% increase in subjects located. Flock DFR, which is drone response to calls and alerts. Look at this thing following me down the page. Built to get there first. Look at these cameras. This is crazy. If you're listening to the podcast, the audio only, please go over to Rumble or YouTube and check out the video that I'm playing right now. It's nuts. And it should absolutely scare the hell out of you. 60 miles an hour, 2,000 foot zoom, 50 square miles coverage range, complete turnkey solution. Take your DFR program to new heights. I'm sorry, my friends, I ain't buying the safety angle of all this bullshit. This is absolutely surveillance. It's already bad enough that these cameras have scattered themselves by the tens of thousands all across the country. As a matter of fact, growth of flock cameras. I saw this on another, I don't know if we've actually got this image or not, but I saw a map of how many flock cameras in USA map. Let's see if that gets us anything. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Hang on a second. Take a look at this. Hang on. Look at that. That is all the places there are flock cameras. Even places out there in the Midwest where there's like a couple of cows and some antelope. Look at these things. This is the land-based flock cameras. This does not include the drones. You'll feel safer now? I don't, not even a little bit. This is scary. And yet these cities and towns just keep buying them. They keep putting them up. Now they're going to be doing the surveillance drones. And if you think that license plate readers is all this is about, au contraire, mon frère. Mm-mm-mm. You think facial recognition with AI isn't a part of this? You can bet your sweet butt it is. They will be able to track you wherever you go. You go to the doctors, you go to the hospital, you go to private meetings. They ain't private anymore. Not a single thing you do, someone cannot know about. And even if they're not watching you live, all this information is stored. What do you think half of these data centers are for? All this information is being stored. So anytime down the road, they can go look it up and they got you. Now, call me a tinfoil hat conspiracy nut job all you want. Don't care. That is the facts. We no longer live in a privacy society. You don't have it. It does not exist anymore. Gone. Happy about that? You shouldn't be. How did we get here? How did we get here? Changing subjects. You cannot make this crap up. The Supreme Court Justice, KBJ, Ketanji Brown Jackson, otherwise known as the moron judge, calls for impartiality while appearing on Michael Obama's podcast. Yeah. She is, putting it mildly, not exactly known for her neutrality. Actually, quite the opposite. She is not famous, but infamous for using emotional arguments in her decisions and for long-winded, loaded questions. She very often even gets under the skin of the other justices. Quote, "We will not dwell on Justice Jackson's arguments, which is at odds with more than 2 centuries of precedent, not to mention the Constitution itself," end quote. That Barrett wrote about Jackson's musing regarding a birthright citizenship case. Even the other justices know what kind of a clown this idiot is. And not only the only justice who gets completely frustrated by KBJ's reasoning, Clarence Thomas, seething at her recently in 2023 for her race-infused worldview, while Alito deemed one of her dissents baseless and insulting and said her rhetoric lacks restraint. All this and more is why seeing somebody talking about the importance of impartiality like this clown on a podcast hosted by none other than Democrat deity, former First Lady Michael Obama. Exactly how clueless is KBJ? How could she not know this makes her look hugely partisan and insanely biased? It is absolutely nuts. Look, listen.
There are lots of limits on what judges can do. And I try to be very, very mindful and scrupulous with respect to that because, as you say, our obligation is to be unbiased in our approach. And so you have to then navigate all the sources that could make for an appearance of partiality, which you want to avoid. So there are lots of things that I end up not accepting for that reason. News sources, I think, I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately, but I do, the normal general media sources are made available. And I think it's harder when you're talking about, there's so much social media now.
I know, this is a whole different world.
It's a whole different world, and not everything is reliable. And the hardest part for judges is that we really cannot participate.
Probably saving you some brain cells.
Exactly.
Too. That we need you focused on your opinions.
Yeah.
Saving you some brain cells? Lady, she ain't got any to save. During her appearance on Mrs. Obama and her brother's podcast, IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, debuted Wednesday, recorded back in May, some of her comments were laugh out loud funny. I mean, crazy out of touch with reality. More than an hour she spent on this jerk of mania podcast. Jackson, a Biden appointee, if you didn't remember that, to the Supreme Court, stressed the importance of being unbiased, saying, you really have to be focused on that. Lady, you are as biased as they come. And even the other justices can see that. Even the title of the episode is insulting. It's called Move Through the Hard Times with Ketanji Brown Jackson, which makes it sound more like a KBJ down on her luck lady living on the margins, not somebody who got awarded the highest seat in the highest court in the land. But there she goes. Good old Michael Obama's podcast. Very nice. That's a good look. That's a good look, lady. You just keep doing that. Oh, man. By the way, I just noticed, I don't know if you can hear it or not, because I've got the noise limiting suppression software running, but we are in the middle of an absolute monsoon here. It is raining so hard. Pouring down. It's been doing this for the last couple of hours. Gotta stop soon. This is insane. Absolutely nuts, this rain. All right. How about this one? Do you think it's going to be tough to try and get some of these illegals out? Or some of these people who maybe they're here legally, and yet they still don't respect our laws and our rules? Well, guess what? We got another way to get you, and it's going to work. Trump is now telling drunk driving foreigners to hit the road. And while you're at it, hand over your visa. All the while Fauci was getting grilled, grabbing headlines Wednesday of this week, Trump made a very quiet move to make our streets a lot safer. A move that needs more attention and hopefully going to lead to some irresponsible foreigners being given a one-way ticket right back to whatever crap hole country they crawled out of. Bye-bye. Department of Justice has confirmed that 5 foreign nationals living in the U.S. will have their visas yanked after they were arrested for driving under the influence and endangering every single one of us who might have been driving around them on the road. 5 foreign nationals completely disregarded our laws, put citizens at risk with their dangerous, reckless actions on the road. Tommy Peugeot, the State Department spokesman, said, "We will not allow foreign nationals who violate the terms of their visa, break our laws, and endanger American citizens to remain in the United States." Good. Sorry, just to take a break here. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but believe it or not, that rain just got heavier. I can barely hear myself in my headphones on this live mic because that rain noise is so loud. Man. Anyway, these were not just cases of visa holders getting behind the wheel of a car after having a bit too much to drink, got caught. These are criminal acts done by people who we have no obligation to be hosting. One of those whose visa's been yanked was arrested for disorderly conduct, resisting arrest with violence, drunk driving, and domestic violence. Yep, pull the visa. Get your ass out of here. Another charged with aggravated DUI with a blood alcohol level nearly double the legal limit while transporting, you ready, a minor. Yeah. Others getting booted out of the U.S. for equally bad behavior. One arrested for DUI with a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit. How could that person even stand up? Make things worse, driver shows up drunk to a court-mandated DUI program. And then the foreign national charged with driving with heroin and a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit. I mean, crikey. Not the best of the best, are they? This crackdown by Trump apparently began after the deadly crash last year in California. In that case, an illegal alien from India crossed the southern border during the Biden admin, failed to hit the brakes on his big rig truck, slammed into a car in front of them, and killed 3 people. Prompted the admin to take a close look at exactly who was allowed to get U.S. driver's licenses, and it turns out it's some pretty bad people. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt tweeted out the news. Hopefully means the Trump admin is considering enforcing this on a much larger scale. Foreign drivers with DUIs, yank the visas, stick them on a plane, and ship their ass home. Get out, don't come back. Now let's hope this move is only the beginning. Foreign nationals are still guests in this country, driving drunk, treating our laws like suggestions. Should be the fastest way for them to head to the departure gate. Bye-bye. No more second chances for foreign visitors who put American lives at risk. Exactly. We have absolutely no obligation to keep dangerous foreigners here while they rack up arrests and American citizens' deaths and continue to put Americans in jeopardy. Get rid of them. Insane. All right. It's Friday, isn't it? Thank goodness for that. Hey, just slipped past me there. That was Blackout coffee. And that was damn good coffee. Yeah, Blackout Coffee, the best coffee you will find on the planet. The best premium beans grown at the right altitude in the right soil, harvested at just the right moment. And they work with local American farmers and local co-ops to grow these beans. They ship them out, they roast them only after you place your order, and they ship them out within 24 to 48 hours, these Blackout Coffee guys who are fantastic people to work with. They've got flavored coffees, all kinds of amazing flavors. If you can't grind your own whole beans, they will grind them for you. That's an option on all their popular roasts at Blackout Coffee. They do coffee pods, instant, cold brew. They've got it all, and everyone just as good as the last. If you've never tried Blackout Coffee, I've been hawking it on this show for years because it's just that good. They were one of our first sponsors. We love these guys, and we drink this stuff all the time here in the Jay Sheldon household. It is just really that good. Try a bag, give it a shot. If you're a first-time customer, you use the code J20, JAY20. That'll get you 20% off your first order at Blackout Coffee. And be sure you check out the site. Use the link in our description. Just pull that description down, and you'll see the Blackout Coffee link there. Give them a shot. Give it a try. You'll be back for more. I know it. Guarantee it, because it's just that good. Thank you, Blackout Coffee, for helping to sponsor the show. And we hope you all will head over there, where, by the way, they always have great deals going on, sales and all. It's always going on over there, so check it out. Well, I don't know if you saw it or not, but Spain is basically falling. It's a mess. I did not put it at the top of the show because, honestly, it's the lead story on just about every other website and news organization, so I assume you've already heard about it. Socialist prime minister begging to call a national emergency. Migrants are overrunning the border. Spain's socialist government is presiding basically over a complete man-made disaster. Unbelievable images and videos, I'm sure you've seen them by now, of Algerian, Moroccan migrants completely overrunning the coastal city of Ceuta. It's absolutely insane. Do we have a piece of that footage? We do. Take a look at this. Looks like a scene out of World War Z. Remember that movie? Was it Brad Pitt? Look at that. A country being absolutely overrun. Insane. Like the Haitians served back. Remember back in 2021? Back in Del Rio, Texas? Same images. Crazy. This is what DSA socialist platform looks like in practice in other countries. No borders, no immigration enforcement, complete freedom of movement. You come and go as you want. There basically are no borders, and they're taking advantage of that. And these are not old grandmas and women and children. 99% of them are military-aged young men. That should also scare the hell out of Spain. But, socialist commie government, they don't care. The city's asked Madrid to declare a national emergency. It's absolutely crazy. And they continue to stream in by the tens of thousands. And the government of Spain has their head collectively so far up their butt, nothing is being or likely will be done. So you get what you play for. Enjoy it. I really, really, really thought we were over this Tesla hating thing. Apparently not. A man has allegedly vandalized 13 Teslas. And guess how he got busted? By his bag of takeout. This is a great story. Max Sebastian Solomon apparently hated Elon Musk enough to make 13 Tesla owners pay for it. Irvine police arrested Solomon. He's 25 years old. He's an adult, although he doesn't act like one. Arrested him Tuesday this week after 2 nights of vandalism at parking garages near Michelin Drive and Carlson Avenue. Booked into the Orange County Jail on suspicion of felony vandalism. First one, 10:30, July 17th. Surveillance showed a man shaking a spray paint can, pulling his shirt up over his mouth, and painting Nazi on the side of a Tesla. 4 vehicles he damaged that night. Less than a week later, police said 9 more Teslas were hit in another garage at the same plaza. Spokesman for Irvine police said, "My understanding is he just doesn't like Teslas." You think? So his personal beliefs or feelings towards the company and took out that aggression by committing the vandalism. The 13 owners were complete strangers to Solomon, whose only offense was buying the wrong car and parking in the wrong garage. One owner couldn't drive his Tesla for several days because he was trying to find somebody who could remove the paint. Eventually, they found some professional cleaning guy who was able to take the paint off the car. But what the hell? They're still out there, these whack-a-mole doodles. Insane. Insane. Hey, here is a story you are going to want to pay attention to. May not be in your area, but you need to pay attention. This is scary. Very scary. Bram residents learned Monday, that is Bram, Minnesota, exactly how quickly a foreign enemy could reach into this country. You think I'm kidding? I am not. A malicious cyber attack shut down the computer controls for the city of Bram's well and treatment plant. A cyber attack left the community dependent on water, which was all they had left stored in their tower. Minnesota IT Services said state officials had yet to identify who's behind the attacks that took place on Sunday and Monday just this week. No reports residents had been impacted by the attack, although one city resident they were asked to conserve water for a couple hours while they tried to determine what was wrong. The FBI is investigating, not publicly identified a culprit. Spokesperson declined to say Thursday what the Bureau thought or who they thought might be responsible. The FBI, cybersecurity, infrastructure security agencies, and a lot of other agencies are warning in an advisory last week that Iranian hackers have been targeting water and wastewater systems and the operational controls of critical infrastructure sectors. God forbid they get into our power grid, which already is ancient and sucks. Digital warfare, folks, has become ingrained in military conflict, local water plants, healthcare facilities. They don't have the money. They don't have the know-how to put in the latest software patches or take security steps. They're all open and vulnerable to these kind of attacks. And they're going to happen. And it's a favorite target for these people. Iran has the geopolitical motivations and a history of targeting water systems. Former Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI's Cyber Division said they've been closely monitoring threats to critical infrastructure from hackers linked to Iran. Now, crews restored this problem with the water within hours. No danger to water quality, but it exists. More than 30 Minnesota community water systems got targeted. Plymouth lost communications, parts of its water infrastructure, but workers kept the water flowing. This is not a small problem. And if they did something more massive than just some towns in Minnesota, that might have been just a rehearsal for a much larger scale thing. We need to keep an eye on that. Well, since it's Friday, I think it's time we took a look down south. Way down south. Somewhere I used to live for about 5 years in Florida. And the latest dispatchment from Florida man. Floridians have been chugging along, delivering their brand of newsworthiness, not bothered by all the stuff going on in Washington and around the other parts of the country. So, with all the distractions taking place, here is what the sunshine denizens have been up to in the last few weeks. The quintessential aspect of Florida Man stories is probably the layers of weirdness. And this one begins with a dispute in a Walmart parking lot. That skirmish escalated into a robbery. And then, as authorities arrived to confront Blake Reed, he barricaded himself inside a mobile home in said parking lot, which led to a standoff, due in part to Reed having a flamethrower with him in the vehicle. The standoff, the cops ended up stretching 14 hours, at which time SWAT was called in, the RV attacked with robotic breaching equipment. A flamethrower. One witness who knows Reed said, "He's a great guy, and this is just a fluky thing that happened to him, and praise God he's okay. These guys, they did what they had to do, and we're all going to surround him with our love and get him a new motorhome. Because that's what we got to do." I might humbly suggest that that is something you do not need to do. Plausible deniability. That's a critical aspect for anybody who wants to defend themselves from charges. Well, Kevin John Moss probably would have been better served keeping that in mind before looking to terrorize a family in New Smyrna Beach. Moss tried to break into their home at least 3 different doorways, shouting threats all the while at the occupants inside. And when police arrived, they arrested Moss, relatively sure they had the right guy. He'd been shirtless, prominent 2-foot-long palm tree tattoo, caught on the doorbell camera. Was, I don't know, something of a tip-off that they probably got the right guy. Where is that? Do we have that picture? Yeah, here you go. There you go. I would say that's probably kind of identifiable. Kind of hard to say it wasn't me. It seems Tinder hookups, by the way, are apparently still a thing. One of these digital rendezvous took place and ended up in a car crash, a car chase, and threats at gunpoint. Oh boy. So, a word to those considering a little online exploration. Caveat emptor, okay? Buyer beware. 67-year-old David Allen O'Brien arrested after a meetup with a 21-year-old that he'd brokered a sugar daddy deal with that kind of went sideways. After a stint of shopping and a dinner, they went back to his home, but the younger woman then declined to follow through on her end of the arrangement, if you know what I mean. Well, after some rather contentious discussions terminating their professional alliance, she refused to give back her payment and then called for friends to come pick her up. Well, as they arrived, O'Brien gave chase, instigated their accident, and then threatened the occupants with a gun. O'Brien been charged with aggravated assault and battery. No charges brought against the young woman for violating a contract. Some targeted thefts, you might say, border almost on fetish. Gerard Cobbs, 47 years old, arrested as part of a heist at a Walgreens location. The crew plotted to have one member distract a worker as two others tried to get about $650 worth of products. They were stealing only body wash, specifically. Don't ask. I don't know. It doesn't say. As the thieves got away, when police arrived, they reviewed the security footage and recognized Cobbs as one of the crew. Now, call this empirical wisdom, as Cobbs has been involved in a whole lot of previous arrests, which is why the cops instantly recognized him. It turned out locating him wasn't that difficult either. He was currently in the Polk County Jail after being picked up on a previous warrant. The cross-dressing Cobbs, is even that he was even free to pull off this Walgreens heist. What? His jacket sports 8 terms in jail. Total 11 years time served so far. 27 felony convictions. 17 misdemeanors. Every one of them, by the way, involving some sort of theft. And if you just for a laugh, there's Mr. Cobbs, or Ms. Cobbs, I suppose, as he prefers to be referred to. Okay, one more. Another case of thievery, specifically. Miami authorities arrested Robert Anthony Esposito for a string of boat thefts across Martin County. Esposito would target boats in multiple locations, steal Garmin GPS units, got 10 counts of grand theft, an estimated total of $60,000 worth of tracking hardware. Now, you might expect, given his proclivity for positioning technology, Roberts might have been a little more aware of security video that completely tracked his activities, which led to his arrest. Yeah, the very stuff he was stealing is what helped the cops find him. They're not sending their best. Oh, goodness. All right, one more and then we're going to close it up for the week. You know, I am not in any way, shape, or form a fan of these folks who take their dogs to the groomer and, you know what I'm talking about, they have their poodles dyed pink or some other ridiculous color, or they get their dogs all chopped up in some completely undog-like fashion. I mean, we've got a Shiba Inu with the curly tail and the big smile, and You know, I have had her groomed. Mostly we give her our baths ourselves. But like I said, these groomers who do this kind of fancy dye the dog blue or pink or to match your Louis Vuitton purse, uh, no, it's a dog. Will you please just let the dog be a dog? However, having said that, I'm gonna give this one a forgive because this groomer took this little pooch and basically turned it into a giraffe. Take a look at this. Look at this.
There she is.
I mean, normally I would hate this. But look at this. It's even got the little, you know, the little antenna thing that giraffes have. And the mane.
Oh my God. Come here, baby. This is the
Like I said, normally
cutest thing I've ever seen.
I would hate this. But sorry, I gotta admit, that is one of the cutest things I think I've seen in a long time. A little giraffe. Oh, man. All right, we are cooking and we're out of here. Thank you for popping by. We appreciate you being here. Please, if you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe over there. If you're on Rumble watching, it's the follow button. We've got our great sponsors, Patriot Mobile, Blackout Coffee, Ground News, all fantastic folks. You get some great deals if you use our link, which is in our description down there. If you'd like to just do us a big favor and donate to the show, you can do that, which is why we put our PayPal link right at the top. Perfectly legit, perfectly safe. Just use your bank card, your bank account. You can pop a little cash our way. We appreciate that. Helps to keep the lights on and keep us free. All right. You enjoy your weekend, spend it with someone you love, and I will see you right back here on Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern on The Jay Sheldon Show.